Today is Tuesday, February the 27th, 2018, and total and fair warning at the beginning of this video, this is going to be a talking video. So if you like your videos to be fast-paced, a lot of movement, a lot of stuff happening, this probably won't be the video for you. But if you like good, informative videos, stick around. At 37 years old, I think back over my life, and I can think of a lot of things that I have been railed on and told over and over that I needed to improve about myself. And there's some of those things that have never improved, and so I've come up with a list of 12 of them that I will no longer try to change about myself or make apology for. Just think of this as a list of New Year's resolutions, but the opposite. Number one, I like to sleep in. I'm actually very good at sleeping. I can sleep anywhere. And it's something that I enjoy. You know that old saying that early to bed, early to rise will make a man healthy, wealthy, and wise? You know what? That was not taken out of the Bible. That was taken from Benjamin Franklin in the Poor Richard's Almanac, I believe. And we can all think of some people that got up early every single day and went to bed early every single day and worked calluses onto their fingers, and when they died, they were penniless and not very wise. So I don't think it matters what time you get up or what time you go to bed. I honestly only get about 7-8 hours of sleep, a lot of times only 6, because I do a lot of work later in the day, when things have calmed down and things are quiet and I can concentrate. So I do my work later in the day, I go to bed a little later, I get up a little later, and that works for me. It always has. I've liked to sleep in my entire life, and I will no longer try to change that. Number 2, I am now and will always be very offended and pissed off when I am lied to. Let me explain what I'm talking about there. When I am told something that is not funny, and there is no punchline, this thing seems like it is probable, and you give me no clue in your delivery. There's no sarcastic tone, no inflection, no wiggle of the eyebrows, no pause, no clue at all that this is a falsity. And then you allow me to believe this for hours, sometimes days, before I find out that it's not true. That is not a joke. That is a lie. A lie. You can see from my reaction to this that I'm a little shaky. This is something that has affected me my entire life. Just to give you a little example, like when I was working construction, if I'm told one day that, when you switch from one scaffold to the other and forgot to tie off, well, the safety man saw you do that. And tomorrow they're going to call you in the office a little after we get here, and they're going to give you a talking to. They might fire you, they might not, but they're going to give you a little bit of a talking to, and I hope everything's okay, right? And they allow me to go the entire day fretting and worrying that I'm going to lose my job. And I have to come in the next day and find out that it wasn't true at all. Nobody saw me make that mistake. And I've been worrying for no reason. Okay, number one, to make somebody worry and fret is not funny. There is no punchline. The delivery gave me no clue that this was a lie. This was an outright, I have not been joked, I have been lied to. This pisses me off for 2 reasons. Number one, I don't like being lied to, and I'm not going to trust you again for a long time until you've built my trust back up, but it's just going to take a long time. A liar is not believed even when they tell the truth. So, if I've been lied to, but I've also been laughed at behind my back by everybody watching me walk around fretting, and I've been kind of called stupid because I wasn't able to catch on to the joke. So, that's number 2. I am offended now and will always be pissed off when I'm lied to. Number 3, I am a terrible speller. And some of you are looking at this wondering, why is he talking about spelling here on this list? Because everybody's got spell check on everything they use. They have autocorrects on everything that they use, which only proves my point to myself that spelling is not just difficult for me if everybody's building in all these spell checks and everything. So you have to understand, when I grew up and went through high school, you could write a really good comic strip or a really good short story and give it to somebody to see what they think about it, and the very first thing that they're going to talk about was the spelling errors. They're going to start nitpicking the spelling. Before they talk about how funny the joke was or how clever the story was, they're going to first nitpick the spelling, because spelling was so important to my generation. Being a good speller meant you were smart. And I hated spelling. When I was looking forward to something that was like a birthday party that was 2 weeks away, because we had spelling tests every Friday, I didn't think of that party coming up as being 2 weeks away. I thought about it as being 2 spelling tests away. That's how much I dreaded spelling. And I really don't think it reflects on somebody's intelligence when they're not able to spell very well. You got to understand, the English language is made up of an amalgamation of all these other languages. It consists of over 170,000 words. And each one of them kind of picks and chooses which one of the phonics rules, and I don't even know why they call them rules anymore, because they're never gone by like they're a rule. Phonics rules that they even want to use. It is such a difficult thing that it is a nationwide competition just to be able to spell our own language accurately. It's an incredibly difficult thing. Let me just give you a few examples. You see this word right here? This word right here, sepulture. This word is actually sepulcher, as in a burial sepulcher. This word right below it, this word tsunami, this is actually the word tsunami. They decided to put a silent T at the beginning of it. This one right here, this word chore, this word is choir. This combination of letters is somehow pronounced choir. This is parfait. This word right here, parfait. Now they're putting a silent T at the end of a word for I don't know why. Somehow I'm supposed to remember this stuff. Just pop right back into my head. I'm supposed to remember these weird things. This word right here, this combination of letters is actually quinoa. Don't you see it? Doesn't it make sense? That's supposed to be pronounced quinoa somehow. Isn't this a bunch of baloney? Or bologna? This language is broken. And all of you out there that anytime I bring this up and I talk about how broken the English language is, and you automatically start trying to defend it, stop trying to defend it. Just agree with me. You know it's true. This is broken. If we're going to bring other words in from other languages and change their pronunciation and not do a darn thing with the spelling to go by our own phonics rules, it's broken. And this, you're teaching kids how to spell starting at ages, 7, 8? This is the frustration that you're putting on little children? To expect me to memorize phonics rules and then exceptions to the rules, and all these weird times that there's silent B's and silent T's and sometimes 3 silent letters in a row. You know what? It's unreasonable to expect that out of me. It's unreasonable to expect that out of anyone. Number 4, I am terrible at directions. If I'm going to go somewhere, I've got to have a GPS directions or printed out directions or something, because I have a terrible sense of direction and I will get lost. Now this, again, a lot of people are thinking, why is he saying this? Everybody's got a GPS. I came up in a generation where nobody had GPSs. Somehow you were just supposed to have that part of your mind that everybody else was born with that I didn't have, where you can just visualize a giant road map and just pull up road names and intersections and be able to see them from different angles in your mind. And I was never able to do that, and I was considered stupid for it for a long time. And the fact that everybody has got a GPS, if you have a phone even with a regular Android operating system that's got Google Chrome on it, the GPS is already built into the phone and everybody uses it. So that's a little bit of an affirmation for me to let me know that I'm not all that weird for constantly getting lost in my teenage and early 20 years. And so there you go. I'm not good with directions. I'm terrible with directions. I get lost if I don't have a GPS or some kind of clear printed out directions. It's always going to be that way. Number 5. I am an introvert. I'm sorry, guys. That's me. I'm an introvert. I need my alone time so I can recharge. That does not mean I am antisocial or I hate people or that I'm brooding and I'm planning something. I am an introvert. This is a personality difference. And, you know, the 2 out of 3 people out there that are type A and extroverts and whatnot tend to look at introverts as though they're flawed or need to be fixed somehow. It's not true. It is a personality difference, not a defect. I don't know how else to say it, guys. So as an introvert, I am never going to seek out large, noisy crowds of strangers. I will always try to avoid them. It's like that now. It will always be that way. I don't hate you. I don't hate people. I'm just an introvert. Number 6, I'm only going to buy and wear clothes that are comfortable for me, that I like, and I am only going to change them or throw them away once they wear out. I am not going to change my wardrobe every time somebody in New York puts his finger on a page and says collars or ties shouldn't, or cufflinks shouldn't look this way anymore, and we've got to change things up. Not going to make a difference for me anymore. I use my clothes until they're worn out or stained or ripped. Then they're thrown away, and then I get new ones. Number 7, I do not pick up on dropped hints or subtext, and as such, I will no longer participate in the guilt of you not getting what it is you were trying to hint at, or the subtext that you were trying to play mind games at. So this idea of saying no when you mean yes, or saying go ahead and go when you mean you should stay, I do not participate in these mind games anymore. If you can't come out and tell me in plain language what it is that you want or believe that you need, then when you don't get it, it's going to be your own problem. Number 8, I have always and will always love everything geeky and nerdy, and that means I love comics. I love cartoons, and I really, really love video games. And you know what? I don't believe that makes me childish. In a world where the most box office record-breaking smash hits are all based on comics, and cartoons are increasingly made for adults, and the video game industry is worth billions of dollars each year, with most of that money coming from adults that play video games. I'm sorry, guys. I know the old curmudgeons out there watching this are not going to agree, but the geeky, nerdy stuff is not childish anymore. I love it, and I will always love it. Now, being single, it might be a moot point to even bring this next one up, but I am going to anyway. I do not want to have children, ever. And all the reasons why could fill up an entire video by itself, but let me just quote Elizabeth Gilbert from her book, Committed. Having a child is a lot like having a face tattoo. You only get one if you are really, really certain that you want one. And I have repeatedly over the years taken a deep look inside and wondered, do I have a desire to have a child? And the answer has always come back, no, I don't. And as long as I'm unsure like that, I don't believe it would be prudent to bring a child into the world. Being single kind of helps too, but there you go. I don't want to have kids, ever. Number 10, a lot of you have heard the phrase, lead, follow, or get out of the way, giving people only 3 options, when I believe there are much, much more. Now, listening to a lot of gurus that talk about how to attract women, a lot of them say that women are attracted to leaders. If you really want to be attractive to a woman, you have to be someone that other people have to listen to and have to do what they say. That means you have to be an owner or manager or something along those lines, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me mathematically, because if every man out there trying to attract a woman was seeking out and getting a position in leadership, eventually there would be no men to lead. So this is a little faulty, but there is a fourth option that I've chosen to go with, and that is the person that removes themselves from the lead, follow, get out of the way, and just kind of goes and does their own thing. And for me, that means going on the road and being a traveling caricaturist and making your living that way, completely removed from the whole drama of trying to climb a corporate ladder or try to best someone or be competitive and all the other soap opera nonsense that seems to happen in all the workplaces. So there you go. I'm not a leader. I'm not a follower. I'm not a get-out-of-the-wayer. I'm a person that makes their own path. I love it that way, and it's always going to be that way. As long as I have control over it, that's what I'm going to try to do. Number 11. If you see me at a store or sitting in a restaurant or walking a park trail or watching a movie in a theater, chances are pretty likely I'm going to be alone. And I completely understand that most of those places are places people go to in pairs, in groups. But the fact is, I travel on the road most of the year, and I am just simply not going to sit in the camper the entire time. So I'm going to be out at places where people are mostly in groups, and I'm going to be alone. And I know a lot of you are going to think that's creepy. You're going to do those creeped out double takes, and that has kept me from going out and doing stuff a lot of times. But I am done with that now. I'm going to go out and live my life. And you can do all your creeped out double takes that you want. Doesn't bother me anymore. I'm just going to live my life. Number 12, and this is the last one. The idea that people only pick on you if they like you has never made any sense to me and will never make any sense to me. This, to me, is about like saying the people out there that hate seeing others in pain are the ones that go around punching people in the stomach all the time. You know what? If you have this idea in your mind that people only pick on you if they like you, then don't like me, okay? I'm removing myself from your friendship right now as we speak. Do not like me if you participate in this good-natured ribbing. You know, when I was in elementary school, they called it cut-downs. They called it insults, and we were told not to do it. But then as we got a little older, they started calling it ball-busting. They started calling it, oh, I'm just jerking your chain. And then as we became adults, we started calling it good-natured ribbing. But it doesn't matter what you call it, it still is what it's always been. Insults and cut-downs. And the idea that you have to cut down other people to make yourself feel better, just like it was in elementary school, it's sad then, and it's sad now. So, and I know a lot of you that are watching this are probably thinking, oh, you're just too sensitive. What, you just can't take it? Look, I am 37 years old. I have been around the block. I have worked construction. I've worked the food industry. I've worked retail. I've worked production. I have been around the block. And yes, I can take it. I know how to take it. But the thing is now that I have control over my life and control over who I'm going to be friends with and who I'm going to work with and who I'm not, I don't have to take it anymore. And I will not take it anymore. So, you know, and there's, don't get me wrong, I appreciate honesty and I appreciate candor, okay? Let me give you a little bit of a difference. If I'm showing up late a lot to whatever events that you like to do, if it's work, if it's a project that we're working on, and I'm constantly showing up late, and a ball buster would be someone that would say, well, thanks for joining us, and get real loud about it and let everybody know. Everybody that didn't notice that you showed up 5 minutes late, now they do because they've all looked over because you got loud about it. That is a ball buster. That's somebody that's picking on you because they like you. But somebody that is honest and with candor will take you aside or speak quiet to you about it. You know what? I really don't like it when you're coming in late. It's an insult to me. You really need to work on trying to get here on time. That's honesty and candor. And I like that in a friend. When I get that in a friend, I appreciate it. I really do, because I can tell they're not trying to make a big spectacle about this and build themselves up and cut me down. They are genuinely trying to improve me. And I like that. But don't be a ball buster. If you're a ball buster, you're a good-natured ribber, don't be my friend. There you go. That's the last one. All right, let me go ahead and do the recap and bring this one to a close. Number 1, I like to sleep in. Number 2, I am offended when I am lied to. Number 3, I am terrible at spelling. Number 4, I am terrible with directions. Number 5, I am an introvert and will never seek out large, noisy groups of strangers. Number 6, I will only throw out my clothes when they wear out, not when somebody decides that they're not in fashion. Number 7, I do not pick up on hints or subtext. If you can't speak to me in an honest, straightforward language, I will not take responsibility in you not getting what you want. Number 8, I love everything geeky and nerdy. Number 9, I do not want to have kids. Number 10, I am not a lead follower or get out of the way. I am somebody that goes and makes their own path. Number 11, I will be seen in places that people usually go to in groups and pairs, and I will be alone, and I will never again allow creeped out double takes to deter me from going and living my life. And the last one, number 12, if you have this idea that people only pick on you if they like you, I don't want to be your friend. There you go. That is all 12. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe if you hadn't already. Hit the bell icon for notifications. Leave comments, leave questions, leave suggestions. I love you guys, and I will see you again in the next video.